On this episode of the John 1911 podcast, the Hudson H9 Pistol, the people have chosen the FAL. Is H&K expanding in the U.S.? And thanks to everyone for helping me find a 223 barrel. Okay, good morning everybody. This is Marky and Freeze, and this is episode 51 of the John 1911 podcast. How was your night, Freeze?
It's actually a pretty good night.
That's good.
Pretty easy going.
You sound chipper today.
A lot of vodka and coffee does that for you.
You started drinking the vodka already?
Hell. I started putting vodka in my coffee around 3 a.m. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, it's a little bit late this morning. It's a little bit after. It's about 12 after 9 East Coast time.
Yeah, it's actually been a slow couple of days. It's not too bad.
That's good. Yeah, we're kind of getting back into the swing of the schedule and changes and things we got going on. So I apologize for being late this morning. I actually got stuck in the armory making coffee. So that probably doesn't
how the hell do you get stuck inside the armory? I mean, there's a safety latch.
No, I mean over here at the general facility. Instead of running down the street to get coffee like at the local Stop and Rob, I was just going to get coffee here, and now there's a new, and I know you're kind of familiar with these. There's a new fancy. It was just on a cup of coffee. It just can't get a pot of goddamn coffee anymore. It's like this freaking like R2-D2 machine that you put. I don't know. You put like sperm samples in, and coffee comes out. I mean, I don't know what this thing.
Do not disparage Keurig.
It's actually this one. I looked at it because I knew this would come up. This is not a Keurig. Keurig or it's Nespresso or it's Nespresso or something. It's basically, I know. It's basically the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's just different brand. Look, I have 2 coffee pots in my house, and you know me. I'm a coffeeholic. I drink coffee like bums drink Ripple.
Nobody knows what Ripple is, dude.
No, I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. I drink coffee like guys in the alley drink Old E. I don't know. I'm dating myself.
Aqua Velva. I mean, you might as well just do the full gamut.
Oh man, I busted a guy years ago who his gig was stealing Listerine.
Oh God.
That dude would drink Listerine.
Oh God.
Man, dude, that just gives me the willies just thinking of it. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I have a down in the production area, my bar down outside of production. I have a KitchenAid coffee pot that I bought about 20 years ago, and I paid like, I want to think it was like $160, $170 for this damn thing, and this was 20 years ago. It was a lot of freaking money.
KitchenAid's like a major, like commercial grade appliance.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this coffee pot, I mean, this coffee pot is the bomb motherfucking diggity. I mean, this thing has been going strong for a long time, and it makes great coffee, and I love it. And then upstairs in the kitchen, I have my Keurig, which is my, get up in the morning, drink a cup of coffee, grab a cup for the road, one of those deals. But when I'm downstairs actually working, whether I'm working on guns, whether I'm, whatever I'm doing, I don't, want to burn K-cups, for a 10-ounce cup of coffee. I just make, a whole pot,
Is K-cup what a Keurig thing is?
Yeah.
A sperm thing for a Keurig?
Yeah, it's the K-cup is the ejaculate for the Keurig.
We've officially earned the explicit tag on iTunes already by 9:16 in the morning.
K-cup ejaculate. No, I mean, look, let me tell you a story about my Keurig. So, a couple weeks ago, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, I was at a store called Ollie's. I don't know if you've ever been to an Ollie's. It
sounds like a smoke shack or something.
No, Ollie's is kind of like it's kind of a cool store. It's kind of like a Big Lots, but it has like better things in it. If you ever get a chance to stop in one, you should. I mean, it's a cool store. So anyway, they had these cases of K-cups, generic brands, whatever. And I'm always trying different coffees. And they had this case. It was like $15, and it was. I want to say it was like 48 K-cups or something like that. I don't know. And it was the donut shop flavor, which is basically the generic Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So I'm like, score, I grab a case of this, throw it in the cart, we check out, and I go home, and I've got my rack underneath my coffee pot that's got a drawer that pulls out. I fill my K-cups in, and then I've got a drawer in my cabinet that I just dump the rest of the K-cups in, and I fill from there. So I dump the case of K-cups in my drawer, and I throw the box away, and about 3-4 days later, I go to fill my drawer up, and I start filling them up, and I realize they were decaf.
Oh, God.
So I'm like, okay.
Fuck?
I'm like, okay, maybe we can salvage this. So I made one, and it literally tastes like donkey ass.
I've been to Tijuana. I mean,
it was.
How do you know that?
I have a donkey. That's how I knew
it was not a donkey. It was a Shetland pony, and I don't want to talk about it. Why do you keep bringing that shit up?
What happens in Tijuana stays in Tijuana. No,
the truth is, I do have Shetland pony stories that we can't share on this podcast. But continue.
So anyway, I'm pissing and moaning because I just burned $15 on decaf K-cups that I can't use, and I'm bitching about it, and my daughter's like, well, hey, why don't you donate them to like charity or like a food bank? And I'm like, look, poor people don't have Keurigs. I mean, come on.
Hey, you know this as well as I do now. How many homeless people have you seen with smartphones?
Well, now that the Obama phones have data bits on it, a lot.
Yeah. So do you end up donating them to charity?
No, I had the old lady take them to the hospital, and that's like a free-for-all food grab. So someone grabbed them.
Yeah. So I heard, like, was it? I mean, I don't know why we're talking about coffee, but what the hell? That some of those Keurigs were shooting hot water at people. They had a recall on them or something.
Hell, I don't know. I'm on my second one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have a new coffee machine over here at the Armory. Our new coffee, they finally replaced it, and it's, they were able to talk, and it's this fancy, like, commercial grade, like,
I don't give a shit. As long as it makes a cup of coffee that I can drink that's not decaf, I'm all for it.
Yeah, because I don't drink fancy coffee. I take really fancy coffee and destroy it. So I actually prefer day-old coffee.
Yeah, I know. You're like a 50-50 guy, 50% coffee, 50%, milk.
Yeah, I just cut because I'm used to drinking. I didn't start drinking coffee till my 30s, and I was literally day-old coffee, and it was like been out like all night. And I was like, I need some caffeine. I guess I'll just drink some coffee. I'll try it. And so I'm so used, like, to me, really hot coffee. I hate that shit. I used to joke to the people at a coffee shop I would go to. I'd be like, you could make my coffee the night before, put milk in it, let it sit overnight, just hand it to me at the window in the morning. They'd be like, that's disgusting. I'm like,
yeah, but hey, whatever. A real coffee drinker is used to drinking old coffee and cold coffee.
Okay, yeah.
But look, hey, I got a funny joke for you.
All right. Okay.
I saw that this was actually a meme I saw, and I laughed for 2 hours thinking about this. There's no picture to it. It's all text. It says, hold on, let me get this right. It said, not everything Donald Trump says is stupid. China built a wall 2,000 years ago, and they still don't have any Mexicans. Dude, tell me that's not hilarious.
Oh, God.
They still don't have any Mexicans.
I'm trying not to do the meme thing. Did you? Obviously, you saw the meme I posted on the Facebook page about the cat. I don't always walk over you, but when I do, I'm going to show you my asshole, all of it.
Yeah.
And I know you have cats, so I thought of you. So
hey, yeah. Look.
All right. Okay, we got to get to some real stuff here. So I don't know if people want to hear about cat memes and coffee. They're like, what kind of fucking podcast is this? Shooting guns and having fun.
Well, it's the having fun part of it.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't talked, as always, before these podcasts, and something came up yesterday. Because I think it's funny, and I think it's a good lesson for people. Did you hear about Obama's dog biting a girl in the face?
No, actually, I didn't. But.
So I guess I would assume this is one of the daughter's friends. She's 18. An incident occurred Monday when 18-year-old was visiting the White House. Sources connected to the girl tell us she went to pet and kiss Sonny, and the dog bit her in the face. A female Portuguese water dog left a nasty gash under the girl's eye. We're told the Obama's family physician, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, checked her out and decided she needed stitches. She's going to be okay, but we're told she'll likely have a small scar, which upset her. She posted various pics of the injury and her visit to Dr. Jackson on social media. And quote, here's my favorite part. The bite is out of character for the breed, which typically is not aggressive in family situations. The Obamas have 2 Portuguese water dogs, 8-year-old Bo, and has the title of first dog. Okay, look, I mean, there's a photograph and you can see a gash, and she needs probably really 1 stitch. They'd give her 2. Look, this is like common sense to everybody. If you're, you're a sheltered millennial and dogs, don't come up to a strange dog and then stick your face in that dog's face, because to a dog, that is a sign of like aggression. I mean, if a dog's going to bite you in the face, what's he going to do? He's going to get close to your face. If you put your face, if you bring your face and you're right up to a dog, and it's a strange dog and you're a stranger, don't be surprised that dog, bites you in the face. I actually know of a girl, real pretty girl. She had a dog do that to her, and it scarred her up pretty good. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, it's not really a story, but I was like, wow, really? I mean, you're 18 and you haven't learned this yet? I just was like, it was bizarre to me. I was like, okay, it's unfortunate, especially get scarred up like that, but really?
Well, all I see is a lawsuit in the future. Look, it was an unfortunate accident. Shit happens. A dog is an animal. Maybe she went up to it too quick. Maybe she, was too loud, startled the dog, whatever. Hey,
maybe the dog was having a bad day.
But you know what? If we were in the ghetto and that happened, we would put that dog down.
Yeah. Actually,
but being that it's the first fucking dog,
that's
then
second dog. It's the spare in case the first dog goes down. Then they have it's for constitutional, continuity of government. It's the spare dog.
Yeah, but I mean, the truth is, if that happens in the ghetto, that dog gets put down.
It's sometimes in a ghetto that dog gets put down right there on the spot. Nobody wants to talk about that either.
Hey, but you know what? If you tase a dog and the dog's on a hill and it rolls down the hill, the barbs tend to come out, and then you're kind of screwed.
And how do you know that?
Yeah, we won't go into that. Because look, no one wants to shoot a dog. I mean, I like dogs. You like dogs. I mean, you don't have to be like a dog lover freak. I mean, look, they're dogs. No one wants to put one down. And tasing a dog is actually quite effective because usually, once you light them up, they just kind of like, they're done.
Yeah, my favorite phrase.
But if they roll down a hill and the barbs come loose, dude, man, you got a lot of angry fucking dog looking at you.
Yeah, and I know, I know. I can't go into this. I know a couple officers that this officer was attacked by this little itty bitty dog. I mean, the dog probably weighed like 12 pounds. Probably not as big as your dog, and you don't have a huge dog either.
Oh, and, no, my dog weighs 28 pounds, and they say he's fat.
Yeah, dog is fat. Your dog is fat as fuck. I never wanted to say anything, but goddamn. Okay, but anyway, this little dog, bit this, latched on this officer, and this officer couldn't get the dog off of him, so his partner comes up. And there's a phrase for this. It's called the partner rescue drill. And if for the listeners at home, if I'm out on the street and I'm tangled up in like some big furball fight and on the ground and getting my ass kicked and it's not going well, and Freeze wants to save me, I know Freeze would do this. He would just shoot. It's best to not actually just try to shoot the guy off of me because you're probably going to end up shooting me. The best thing to do is to grab onto one of us and kind of roll or ride with us. It's called the partner rescue drill. And this guy had to jump in to do a partner rescue drill to shoot this little itty bitty dog off this man. And it was, of course, everybody's just, of course, the media reported it as like this little bullshit dog and what the hell and why are you shooting this dog? And, of course, the officer ended up having to go to the hospital. This dog was a nightmare. I think it might have been like a form of a chihuahua. And seriously, it was like a big chihuahua. And this,
dude, let me roll this chihuahua off you, dude. That just
I had to shoot. I mean, he had to freaking jump in. He couldn't get a clean shot because it was just too much. And he jumped in and had to latch on to his partner. I don't think he latched onto the dog because it's too small to grab it. I mean, if it's a perp, you latch onto whatever you can. You latch onto the perp. But end up having to do a partner rescue drill on with this fucking dog. And of course, the media the family rolled out with like a little picture of this dog. It is like his graduation from high school. It's it's like he was a good boy turning his life around. The typical bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
he was an entrepreneur, and he was getting his life straightened out.
I think the officer, I think he probably was off work for a couple months because I think it tore up one of his arms or something. It was just a funny thing. So I know how the hell I'm talking about that. I lost my train of thought.
I don't even know how the hell we got on this subject.
I don't know. So your fat ass dog. I like your dog. I call your dog this. I wish your dog's name was Steve Austin because you have the $6 million dog. And I've just lost control of this podcast today. It's just going to be a goofy one. Your dog has been in the hospital more times than goddamn Michael Jackson had plastic surgery.
No, that's not true. It's not that bad.
For yeah, I mean, yeah,
it was okay. Look,
dude, they wanted to put your dog down.
Well, I mean, they would have if the puppy mill that I got them from, basically, yeah, that's the ultimate road. They wanted to put them down opposed to pay money, and that wasn't going to happen. So, they didn't want to pay money to get this dog better when it was their issue, and we made them get the dog better. So
yeah, So let me ask a little bit. I guess we got to get into some of the stuff this morning. I guess some of the things why people listen to this podcast. I'm ashamed I don't know this. SHOT Show is coming.
Yeah,
and Scott Mayer is kind of like, I haven't worked SHOT Show. I still get asked to go, and I wouldn't even have to technically work. I would just go and hang out, but I'm so burned out on SHOT, I don't go anymore. Scott was going to give us a bunch of reports on the ground, and he's got too much stuff on his plate for SHOT this year, so we're not going to get nearly as much content as we did last year from Scott regarding SHOT. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because some of it turns into almost like canned press release stuff. So I told him that if you see some stuff that's interesting or do whatever, definitely if you got some time, maybe give us a couple things, and we'll we'll go ahead and do it. But there's been some pre-release things from SHOT.
Yeah.
Have you seen I may have to send this to you now to even see what it is. Have you seen the new gun called the Hudson H9? Hudson H9?
No, that doesn't sound familiar. Who's it made by?
It's a new company. Well, this is why I'm kind of bringing this up. I'm going to send this to you now. Just one example. It's been popping up. It's a new gun, a new company, but what they're trying to do is basically make a gun that's inspired off of a 1911 ergonomics, but is a striker-fired gun and actually has a straight pull trigger like a 1911.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's an interesting gun. I mean, apparently they want to sell options with thumb safeties and not thumb safeties. And I guess it's ambi. It's got ambi slide stop on both sides. I can see that. This is a 9mm. I guess it holds 15 rounds, which, I mean, one of my problems with this gun is, for as big as it looks, only 15 rounds in 9mm.
Yeah, see, and that's the yeah, that's the problem. This gun's a big gun. I'm looking at it. I mean, it's a full size gun. Why does it only hold 15 rounds? It's a problem I have with the VP9.
Yeah, I mean this gun's bigger than a VP9, I bet.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. I mean, look at that underlug on it. I mean, this thing's kind of huge.
It's a big, gun.
Which that in itself is not that big of a deal. I mean, being a big gun, but I mean, on a gun this size, I would expect 18 plus 1 easy.
Yeah, and I can't figure out. Like, I guess it looks like it's got 1911 grip panels, but those don't look like, are those the thin grip panels or are those custom grip panels? Because those even look thinner than the thin ones to me.
Well, the picture I'm looking at, it's not a great angle, but I can kind of see the bottom of the grip panel because it's kind of like at a 45-degree angle looking from the bottom up of the gun. And that's definitely a thin grip panel.
I know, but is that thinner than a quote 1911 thin grip?
Yes, I mean that's what I'm saying. Is it if you had two sets of 1911 grips next to you, a regular standard 1911 grip and then a thin grip, or what they call a thin grip, that would be a thin grip.
So you think it's the same size as a standard 1911 thin grip?
Yes, I believe it is. And here's why I say that. If you look at the bottom of the grip, you can tell it's definitely a thin grip, not a standard thickness grip. But look up where the mag release relief is. You know, where there's a relief. See how thick it is? See how the bevel in there?
Yeah, it's got to have some thickness for it to be able to cut that bevel into it, that relief cut.
Exactly.
Okay, so if you are a 1911 person and you have some grips, in theory, you could put those on this gun. However, you would probably have to hog out the relief for the well, maybe not. I mean, for the magazine release. Well, here's I can already tell by the kind of like the buzz it's getting. This is going to be this year's gun. This is going to be the it gun, unless something comes out that's, like, I don't know. Maybe Glock finally comes out with a full-size frame and 19 slide gun or something. You know what I mean? I just don't know. This is going to be the it gun this year, and I hope this gun does well. But, right now it's still basically vaporware. But here's an interesting data point. The guy that invented this gun, I think I know him.
Oh, yeah?
I think I do. It looks like I may know him from, if it's who I'm thinking it is, I may know him from one of from one of the service academies. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, apparently. I'm thinking it looks like there may be 2 degrees of separation here, and I may even photograph with this guy. So,
by the way, I'm reading in this article, just to interrupt you here. The grips, they're G10 grips made by VZ. So if you have a set of 1911 grips, they will fit on this gun. I mean, I run a set of VZ G10s on my SIG.
Yeah, I've got some G10s.
Yeah. I like G10s. I like how aggressive they are.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't followed 1911 grips. That bevel in the grip, that relief cut may be a G10 thing, maybe a VZ thing. That may just be the new style, and you and I don't know it because we're old now. You know what I mean? Because we don't follow it anymore. You know what I'm saying? We may go look and be like, go to VZ's website, and half the grips they sell have that big relief cut in the grip handle now. So that may not even be a Hudson thing. That just may be what's in style now. So.
Well, no, I mean they're saying the grips are made by VZ. So I mean, maybe they designed these for Hudson, or maybe they just decided to use VZ grip. I don't know. I would imagine they're just using a VZ G10 style grip.
Have you seen anything as far as price, what they're MSRPing on this?
No, but let me see. Let me pop this article up here and see if I can.
Price or weight?
Let's see. Here we go. Unloaded weight is 34 ounces. Barrel is 4.28 inches. Trigger is 4.5 to 5 pound break. Let's see.
So it's 34 ounces unloaded?
34 ounces unloaded. Oh, holy shit. Dude, MSRP on this is $11.47.
Oh, it has to be. It's still basic. It's a custom gun. I mean, it's... Oh, yeah. You think it's going to be a $400 gun?
Yeah, I know, but goddamn, man. You fucking... $1,150, between $1,100 and $1,200. Now, of course, that's MSRP, which means you're going to be able to get this gun for about $950 on the street. After it's out for a while. Because no one ever pays MSRP.
Well, sure, that's the. This is such an interesting gun. I wonder if it's.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, once this comes out, I mean, unless all of a sudden this thing just blows the hell up, and it turns out to be a monumental turd.
Which a lot of new guns do.
A lot of SHOT Show guns disappear. They're hot for a minute, and then once they hit the streets, they just go away because they're turds. And that's fine. That's what SHOT Show's all about. Seriously,
it's the turd factory. There's a lot of bullshit at SHOT.
Look, the SHOT Show is a big fucking American standard toilet bowl, and every booth in there is a little nugget floating in the bowl, and some of it floats to the top, and some of it gets flushed down. And look, that may offend a lot of people, but if anyone is familiar with the SHOT Show, if anyone's been to the SHOT Show, worked the SHOT Show, they know I'm telling the truth. But look, here's the thing. If this gun it turns out not to be a total turd, I would be very interested in grabbing up one of these for the armory, just to do some testing on. I find the gun interesting.
And that's the thing, because we are not, quote, gear testers. We're not. That's not, and even though we're doing new stuff with John 1911, we're not gear test. Because we've had people already reach out to us and want to do, maybe send us products. And again, I'm not opposed to somebody giving us stuff, but here's the thing. I'm not going to waste 1 minute of my time shooting or toying with anything that I'm not interested in. So I'm not a gear reviewer. We're just not.
Look, anything that we review is our stuff. We don't get paid to review anything. People don't give us shit to review stuff. We are not going to sit there and review whatever and say it's awesome because someone basically paid us money or gave us something to tell everyone it's awesome. We don't do that. If we review something, it's because it's ours and we like it.
If you want your shit, we'll buy your shit. But here's the thing. Look at the VP9. We don't do review. We've never done a, quote, review of the VP9. We like them and we run them. And if you see us doing drills or doing projects or doing anything, don't be surprised if you see a VP9, just because it's kind of the guns we run. We're more interested in shooting guns and having fun, not doing reviews.
Yeah.
This gun, I was curious to see how you would react to it, because I'm kind of like, I'm kind of curious too. Did you notice the trigger?
Yes, okay. I did.
The trigger,
and it's really unusual because it's kind of like a bastard between a 1911 trigger and a M&P trigger.
Well, they've got the little dongle thing, the safe action trigger idea dongle in the middle of the trigger. But what they're doing it's
a flat pull trigger like a 1911.
It's a flat pull trigger with that shoe, but then but the little dongle doesn't swing out at the bottom and actually swings out at the top. So It looks like it instead of it swinging down, it swings up and back. People listening to this, I'm not going to have any idea what I just said. When they see the gun, they'll there we go. But here's the thing: if you and I like this gun, or interested enough to be maybe we would pick one up. You just got to wonder if Hudson's got enough mojo to even fill orders.
I don't know, but look, the thing mind you, I'm just looking at this gun for the first time. I don't know. Here's the thing, and I would have to pick one up and run it. But what bothers me about the trigger is, like you were saying, the shoe comes out at the top, opposed to the guys that are familiar with M&Ps, how the shoe comes out at the bottom. When you go to grab that gun and your finger acquisitions on the trigger, I tend to acquisition towards the top end of the trigger. How awkward will that be with that shoe out at the top opposed to the bottom? I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
Well, you're also getting into a little bit of leverage. I think some of the deciding factors of those questions will be basically how heavy is the resistance on that shoe. Is it basically nothing? Because the safe action trigger on the Glock, it's it's nothing. I've got one in my hand here just to make, because I was like, oh, I'll grab one, look at it. It doesn't take any pressure to move that little trigger. I don't even remember what the hell they call it. Trigger safety. So anyway, it's just interesting. Yeah. So, look, are we going to end up with the first one of these? Hell no. No.
Definitely
if
not.
This gun survives.
Look. If this gun is still out there on the market come this time next year, I wouldn't mind picking one up if we can get one at a good deal. I'm not going to pay $1,150 for one. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Because, look, I'm not interested in carrying this gun. I'm not interested I'm interested in playing with it. I wouldn't mind picking one up to play with it if it's at a decent price. $1,150 is not a decent price.
I wonder what kind of magazines it takes, because it's a double stack magazine. Does it take like a, double stack, like, Springfield double, or like, what do you call those guns? The
honestly,
1911 mag?
See, I don't know if they design their own mag, but if they are smart, hold on. However, the unconventional nose profile, low bore axis, accessory rail, 15-shot double stack mags, blah blah blah. It doesn't really say, but honestly, if they're smart, it will take either Beretta or Glock mags.
Well, if it's a Glock mag, and then it's got to be a 19, because they're saying it only holds 15 rounds. And that doesn't look like a 15-round frame to me. That looks like a 17-round frame. So that very well could be a Beretta mag.
I don't know. Maybe it's a proprietary mag.
And tell you what, if it's a proprietary mag, that's going to hurt that gun bad.
Oh, that'll hurt that. It'll destroy that gun. Because no one's going to want to pay $35-$40 for a proprietary mag for this particular gun. But if it takes a Beretta or a Glock mag, which are a dime a dozen and they're out there on the market, that'll be a huge factor for this gun.
Well, yeah, look at what killed the Bren 10. People couldn't even get goddamn magazines for that, and that's, even now, that's even the issue. I mean, the magazine is what killed that gun. Because if you can have one-off crazy bullshit guns, and you can run them forever if you can get mags for them.
Yes. Yeah, but but the mag is the big deal.
Yeah, why do you think it has that big? You know what? Let me take a look at this broken apart. People listening to this can't see this, but it almost looks like the gun has like a light built into it. But let me see a breakdown of the internals, because where are they putting this? Okay, the article that I sent you that shows, check this out. The article that I sent you that shows the gun, basically the three main parts, the slide, the frame, and the barrel. You don't see a recoil assembly in that picture. You know what that tells me? That recoil assembly, and see how far down when you take the slide off, and see how far down the front. The front, let's say, I don't know, which it's not a bushing, but like where the bushing.
It's got like a.
See how long that leg goes down?
Yeah.
That tells me, I'm betting you money that recoil system is buried deep in that in front of that trigger.
Well, it is, because here's a picture of the gun with the slide lock back sitting next to a magazine and a half box of ammo. And you can see the guide rod sticking out, and look how low that is. It's way down in there.
That's interesting. I wonder why they did that.
Who knows?
Is it to get their bore axis lower so they could raise the gun up and basically bypass because it almost looks like the recoil spring is almost level with the trigger. So, like on a Glock, like a recoil spring is above your trigger finger. And on the 1911, the recoil spring is well above your trigger finger. This thing, the recoil spring, looks like it's almost down literally to where the middle of your trigger finger, or damn near. I wonder how that affects the recoil impulse on that. That's interesting.
Okay, check this out. If you go down, there's a picture of side profile of the gun on the right hand side, and then next to it, it's a front profile of the gun. You see what I'm looking at?
It's on the white background. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. If you look at the side profile of that gun, and then you go over and look at, like, say, I don't know, like an X26 taser, man, doesn't that kind of have the look of a taser? I mean, it's got the 1911 grip angle on it, but the whole front end of that, from the trigger forward, it just has that taser look. Now, that in itself's not bad, but with how big and blocky that front end is, think about hanging a laser or a flashlight off the bottom of that thing. How obnoxious would this thing be?
That's kind of that was kind of where I was going with that. It's like, well, unless here's the thing, and I predicted this years ago. Look, I remember being at SHOT, and I was at Zeiss booth, and I had some time, and they were selling a scope with a rangefinder in it, and you could pick it up and zap it at a wall, and it'd give you your range, and I think you could select meters or yards. I couldn't remember, but it was just real simple. It would just literally give you a number.
Yeah,
and I was telling people, I said, there's going to come a day you're going to be buying scopes from regular companies like, Loophole, and they're going to have full targeting computers in them. They're going to have full ballistics calculators in them and stuff, and it's coming. And also what's going to end up happening is, like, if you're a company like Surefire, eventually companies like Glock and M&P or Smith & Wesson and whomever, they're going to be selling guns with lights and lasers just simply built into them. And here's the thing. All you would have to do on this gun, this company, they could just sell a new recoil assembly with maybe a light in it.
Yeah.
Maybe they drill out the front, or, maybe they drill a hole in the front and they put a light. I mean, there's a lot of... I'd be real curious to crack one of these open and look to see how much room is in there, if they could get electronics in that. And,
I don't know. There's a lot of meat there, but my point is, with how low that recoil spring is in there, I don't know, man. But you know what? Wasn't there somebody making an LED flashlight that took the place of a recoil guide rod? I mean, not a recoil spring, but the guide rod on like a 1911.
I haven't looked at. Was it Laser Light was making a laser that you basically would replace the recoil assembly in your night. They may have done it for Glock too, but you could basically have a laser built into your gun. The downside to that system, as I recall, again, I'd rather have a light than a laser, was activating it under stress, because what they were doing is they basically had some little itty bitty switch that came out, like maybe near the takedown lever, their takedown on a Glock, and it was under stress to throw that gun up, like, oh shit, draw it out, press that gun forward, and for a committed shot, getting that light on or getting that device to even, it was virtually impossible.
Yeah.
There's no practical way. I mean, you could have guys that could, like, if they're, let me show you how to do this, and maybe under a timer they're ready and they're going to do it and they could successfully do it. But under a real stress-induced, I'm sitting here drinking coffee and all of a sudden, holy fuck, I got to press out for a committed shot. I'm never getting that thing off. I'm never getting that thing activated. It was just no way. And that was and also I think you introduced the idea of maybe a non OEM part into the recoil assembly, which could come apart, break apart, jam, lock up, whatever. So, yeah, I don't know.
But,
I mean,
but you know what I find very odd? I'm trying to find a website for Hudson Firearms, Hudson Manufacturing.
Oh, they have a website.
I can't find their website.
It's Hudson Manufacturing. I've actually, let me just type this out real quick. Oh, wait. It's HudsonMFG.com. I just, I guess they get an endorsement. Yeah, they have a website. It's a pretty basic website. But yeah, be careful. Don't play any videos that are end up blasting out over the thing. So, I'm just surprised you like that gun. So,
well, I like the, looks of it on the surface.
Oh, if anybody's interested, it's got a huge beaver tail on it. It literally has a 1911 beaver tail on it.
Oh, yeah. I still can't find their website.
HUDSONMFG.com. Here, I'll help you out.
HUDSON.
I'll get back to actually doing a podcast. When you get to buy one of these goddamn guns. Here we go. I'm just going to send you an email. There, it's coming. All right. But have you?
Go ahead.
If I were to ask you, because Germany's standard service rifle is the G36, with the unofficially being the HK416. If I were to ask you, what is the next possible German service rifle to replace the G36 and all the problems that have been reported with that rifle, who do you think's going to get that contract?
No, man, I don't know.
It looks like it may be Steyr, an Austrian company. Steyr has teamed up with Rheinmetall, which is a German manufacturing company. Check this out. They have a gun. They have a rifle. It's called the Modular Assault Rifle. It's their STM-556. And let's see here. Hold on. Is that the original one? Market the RS556. So, if you were to take an RS556, this is why you're going to like this. It's an AR, okay? I'm pretty sure it's a piston. It's a piston AR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it takes standard, whatever. To my eye, it looks like I would call it a expensive copy of the Ruger AR they're making now. It seems to be this. I mean, it looks very similar to me as far as the internals. And those Ruger, they're the Ruger, and I know you're a big Ruger fan.
So so that's the Steyr. What do they call that? Their AR-15 rifle. What is it? The SM-556 or something like that.
Well, the Steyr, you're initially.
Steyr makes an AR style rifle.
I think they just started. They typically make the AUG, the AUG.
Yeah, I know they make the AUG, but they make an AR.
Yeah, that's I think they're calling it the RS556.
Okay.
They've been making that for a while, I guess.
Okay.
So it looks like it's a piston AR. But it would be interesting to see another company come out with a quality, AR that's,
Sure.
That's that's like one of these piston guns. It's like quote military or whatever, and it's not going to be HK. And it would just be interesting to see what would happen with that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hell yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, but look, ARs are like 1911s. Everyone's making them.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why do I
know that's going to piss off a lot of the AR guys, and it might even piss off some of the 1911 guys because I just said, an AR is like a 1911. Everyone makes them. But look, you can have an Ed Brown 1911 or you can have a Taurus 1911. Basically, you have the same gun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, when push comes to shove, look, if you laid one of each in front of me and said pick one, yeah, I'd grab the Ed Brown. But the bottom line is they're basically the same gun, and it's the same with ARs. You know, now I know guys are going to get in, GI and the piston guns, and then you're going to get into all the different calibers. But ultimately, at the bottom line, at the end of the day, you have two types of ARs. You have a gas impingement and you have a piston. Is one better than the other? Depends on your preference. Nothing wrong with gas impingement. I prefer a piston gun, but I'm kind of like an AK kind of guy. But there's nothing wrong with a gas gun. They're a pain in the ass to clean, but
but you know what? That kind of this is going to dovetail into another point that you made, and this came up because we're going to be doing some shooting drill videos, and we're going to start featuring. People have noticed we've obviously changed our brand to John 1911, and they've also noticed we've been pumping out more videos. And what's coming is actual some more shooting videos. And so we threw up 3 rifles for people to choose. We threw up a FAL in 223. We threw up a SIG 551A1, which is basically a copy of the SIG 550, but U.S. made, and a Beretta AR-70. And the FAL and SIG were kind of neck and neck. I mean, the FAL ultimately was selected by the viewer, so that's what we're going to run first, and it's a cool gun. I got to mess with the gas. I'll do it today or tomorrow. The AR-70, the Beretta.
Oh man!
Which was that is an uber rare gun. That is a hard ass gun to get in the United States.
And the thing is, isn't that unfired?
Oh shit! 3 of those are unfired. The FAL is because we were doing something with it. Is fired.
Yeah, we fired it.
One still got tags on it, and the AR-70's unfired as well. Never been fired.
I mean, I was shocked. I mean, it doesn't shock me that the FAL won, but man, I cannot believe that the AR-70 got like 3 votes. I mean,
it got 3 or 4 votes on Facebook, and it got like 1 vote on Instagram.
It's like
a maximum of 5 votes.
I mean, but you know what though? This goes back to what I've been saying for a long time. Look, people didn't pick the AR-70 because they don't know the AR-70. If people knew more about it, they would be more excited about it because, I mean, it's a pretty cool freaking gun, but it is kind of rare and you don't see them a lot. But, like I said before, if you have 1,000 people sitting there and you have 2 videos and both videos are 5 minutes long and the video is you shooting a Blaser or you shooting an AR, the video of you shooting the AR is going to get more views than the Blaser because people just don't dig the Blaser. It's not that they don't dig it, but they don't have it. They can't afford it. It doesn't interest them. They want to watch a video of something that they can afford or something that they already have. Doesn't mean that the Blaser's a bad gun. It just means that, well, I don't really want to invest 5 minutes of my time watching a fantasy video when I can watch 5 minutes of my time watching a guy shooting drills with an AR that I can actually go out and do because I own one.
Exactly. And, that's been an interesting, you made that observation, I don't know, it was a couple years ago. And, and I've been, I didn't really pay attention to it. I mean, we don't intentionally do things to our viewers or our customers or our readers. We don't like A/B test people. Like, hey, let's fuck with people. And I call A/B testing fucking with people. We give some people some stuff and other people other stuff, and then see and just kind of play them against each other to see what's gets more response. We just basically have to make general observations. And when you put that in my head, I begin to notice, I was like, damn, Freeze is right. I run a video or a story on a Glock because I'm shooting something or doing something. and it's got a Glock in it. I'm not even really talking about a Glock. It just happens to have a Glock in it. It gets more traffic than, a video on that shows like a Steyr Hahn, World War I pistol. I mean, they're both Austrian pistols, but, people want to see guns that they own. People want to try, because they want to try to glean something from it or connect to it. I mean, I'm not a big expert on what people want on the internet, obviously, but, you're dead ass right. And that's a perfect example. And it's funny, the market mirrors that as well. Look, SIG was like, oh, I got this great fucking idea. Let's, everybody talks shit about how great the SIG 550 is and how awesome it is. We're going to come into the U.S. and we're going to make SIG, we're going to make a copy of the SIG 550 in the U.S. for the U.S. consumer, and we'll call it the 550A1, and it'll be just like the SIG 550. You even take the bullshit SIG magazines with the bullshit rocker lock, because everybody on the internet says they would buy that in a heartbeat, and they made a ton of those. Guess what happened? SIG makes fucking ARs now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still a big fan of the 556 XI, but
even the XI, which is basically their kind of like it's Stenag magazines and
it's their version of the Scar.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean,
that's gone too.
Yeah, but look, because the AR rules the world. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the fucking day, the AR rules the world, There's nothing wrong with the Scar except that it's, like, stupidly priced. The 556 XI is an awesome platform, but, it's not stupidly priced. But honestly, at the end of the day, if I'm going to spend, $1,400 on a rifle, I would take the 556 XI, of course, but the point is, at the end of the day, if you have $1,200 to drop on a rifle, honestly, you're going to get the AR, because you're going to get it. If you drop $1,200 on an AR, you're getting a lot of rifle.
Oh my God, $1,200 on an AR, you're getting into the deeper end of the pool.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, because it's like, well, okay, if I want, a military style rifle that I can do shit with, whether it's, drills or competition or training or just playing and having fun. Why should I drop $1,300 on an XXI? Why should I drop $3,000 on a Scar when I can go out and honestly, I can drop $600-700 on a nice AR and it'll do everything I need it to do. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
The AR rules the world, and that's why SIG is making ARs. That's why Steyr's making ARs. That's why everyone's making ARs.
It's interesting because I would say the position of SIG in the United States versus the position of FN, they're completely different. Because one, FN is a huge international arms conglomerate. They really are. They make shit for everybody all around the world. It makes unbelievable what FN makes. They made the Scar at the specific request of SOCOM, because SOCOM SOCOM was messing with M4s and they were having issues, and SOCOM wanted Colt to change a bunch of stuff on the M4, and Colt was like, we can't do that, we don't own it, the Army owns that, so you have to get Army to do it. And Big Army told SOCOM, the M4 is fucking fine, we're not changing anything. So basically SOCOM was like, okay, we're going to put an RFP out for our own goddamn gun, and so we can basically make an M4, so we can make, an improved M4, but they were like, let's go ahead and make it piston driven and do all this stuff. And there were a bunch of people competed. The Scar is, the Scar was selected by SOCOM, and then an improved M4 did come out, so they were like, well, why even have why switch from the M4A1 to the SCAR 16? They're basically, it's as ridiculous. They're basically now doing the same job, so we'll just go ahead. Big Army's now come up with the A1, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. SOCOM kept the SCAR 17 because it's a lightweight battle rifle and you can do a lot of shit with it. But it's interesting. FN made the SCAR for a specific contract for the military. They were not trying to sell that to the world, or they were not trying to sell that to you and me in the U.S. And I'm still convinced that FN isn't really trying to sell the SCAR. I don't think that they're closing the line down. They're filling orders. They're taking orders kind of all around the world and doing all kinds of shit. That's why people can't even get SCARs half the time right now we're at the bottom of the list. FN's put more effort and time into their military collector AR rifle for the domestic market than they ever do with the SCAR.
Well, yeah, and that's smart, because the truth is, FN, if they want to sell the SCAR, they need to look at world militaries, because
and if they want to sell a SCAR in the U.S., they got to drop the fucking price.
Well, and that's what I was getting to, because the truth is, the U.S. is the gun market. Because no one else in the world's allowed to own freaking guns other than the military. So you concentrate on your military contracts, and that's fine. The SCAR's great for that. But if you want civilian contracts, honestly, if you want the SCAR to take off, the price has to come down. The price has to honestly, if the SCAR wants to have any traction in the civilian market in the U.S., it's got to be a $1,500-$1,600 gun maximum. And honestly, to be honest with you, there's no reason why FN can't sell that gun for $1,500 and make money. There's no reason why the SCAR has to cost what it is. None. It's not like it's got like, Jesus' foreskin integrated into it. It's not like it's got, titanium, platinum, testicles mounted to it. There's nothing special about that gun. There's nothing super fancy about that gun. There's no reason in the world why that gun has to retail for what it does. None whatsoever.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it needs to be down at $1,600, but yeah, they're not even trying. It's interesting because, SIG USA, which is a different company, really. SIG USA is so desperate trying to become players in the U.S. rifle market, and they kept trying different things. And it was, they basically listened to what the customer told them that they wanted, and it was wrong. And so SIG basically said, we're going to make an AR, and we like these features of piston driven and all this kind of stuff, and folding stocks and modularity. So they took an AR, put an AR 180 recoil system in it, and then gave it a quick detached barrel and some of their stuff, and that's a badass gun. But
it is.
But SIG was listening to the customers in the U.S., and, customers will tell you what they want to buy, but at the end of the day, the best way that they tell you is when they actually buy it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's truly literally the supply and demand. It's if you give them if you supply them with an item they want, they will buy it. And if they don't buy it, you need to go back to the drawing board. Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, no one in England's buying these guns. No one in Germany's buying these guns. No one in Europe's buying them, for that matter. Maybe Switzerland. But, there's like 4 people living in Switzerland, so what the hell?
Oh, God, okay. But, you see these guys, they don't understand that, I wish the gun companies would listen to, and be smart and do whatever. And it's like, I got news for you, brother. Look at the market. Companies try to do this kind of stuff, and it doesn't sell. And guess what sells? ARs in the U.S., just like these videos. Guess what people watch? AR videos and Glock videos.
Yep.
we're going to use that to talk about two things. I had sent you something. In the U.S., there's an importer for true European SIG rifles. I guess it's called JDI, and it's Swiss. They're Swiss Arms, JDI. They let's see here, exclusive importer of Swiss Arms in the United States. We will be importing a small number of Swiss Arms firearms ranging from the 5.1150 BMG to the 5.53R and the 7.51 Sapper pistols, with more options to come in the future. Now, here's the thing. These are real Swiss. Now, here's the thing. If there's someone listening to this right now and they're like, I'm sure there's some Swiss gun forum in the U.S. where they're all up and down this website, but most people never heard of this. This you can get, as opposed to the 551A1 that we have in the armory that's made by SIG USA. You can get actual European SIG rifles, and it looks like uppers and lowers. They're quote in pistol form, but here's a perfect example. So a 5.53 conversion kit without receiver, I guess on the 5.50, the lower is the receiver, not the upper. So basically just an upper. It's $1,600. A short barrel upper is $1,700. Now there's let's see here, the lowers, 5.50 lower. Because what happens is people will buy this SIG USA 551 that we've got, and they'll get on this forum, or they'll get on this website, and they will order, quote, real Swiss parts, and then they'll buy real Swiss lower and put it on whatever. So you're going to buy the SIG 551A1 in the U.S., all right? And I don't remember what you even paid for that, but they're not even made anymore, I don't think. And then you're going to spend $850 for a black or green lower receiver to put on that, so you can be a real Swiss lower as opposed to a U.S. lower. That's stupid.
Oh, yeah.
And then let's see here. So here we go. Here's lowers with buttstock and trigger housing. So these are $1,000. I mean, this shit. Yeah. I mean, basically, to buy one of these rifles is one of these things as a pistol. Like the SIG 55, a true SIG 550. I mean, they may call it the 553. Again, if you're a SIG person, give me a break a little bit here, because I just call them all 550s. You're $4,000. If you think a goddamn SCAR is expensive, I mean, it's just insane. Oh, here's the thing: this gun will never take off in the U.S.
Well, no, and that's the thing; it won't take off, because the truth is, you can buy, what is it, an MCX? I guess is their
the SIG USA is the I'm not sure.
I think it's called the MCX, which is basically their AR.
Yeah, there's the MCP, which is the pistol, and I played with one of those in a gun store, and I tell you what, I almost broke out the company check and bought it. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, it was like I was in there for like an hour, like I don't want to spend frickin', with tax and then some magazines, you're going to be like $2,000. And
yeah, but my point is, the MCX is not cheap. The MCX is not cheap. It's like an $1,800 rifle.
Yeah, MCX. Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can get it for 15, 16, but I think MSRP on this thing's like right around 1,800.
And that's $1,000 or more less than a SCAR.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is, you go to the website you're talking about, you got $4,000. And look, the SIG MCX is a Swiss rifle. It's a piston-driven AR. That's just it's just a badass piece of equipment.
No, you're mistaken. The MCX is not a Swiss rifle. The MCX is made, created, and thought about by SIG USA.
Yeah, but
SIG USA is not SIG. They've broken up. I mean, they're not the same company. And the thing is, the reason is the same reason why I couldn't get Blaser barrels. Because basically these companies, because SIG USA sells tactical military stuff. SIG in Germany, they can't ship any of that shit here.
Yeah, I know, but it's Sig Sauer. It is what it is. I mean,
I know SIG USA is bigger. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I remember talking to somebody from the group that owns all these companies. I can't remember which one it was. Like the same people that own SIG own Blaser and own, is it Sauer?
They own Mauser.
They own Mauser. They own Blaser. They own SIG. They're a huge company, and then literally SIG USA was like, okay, we'll go ahead and like just create an entity in the US because it's easier as far as importing and just various things, and it's the world's largest market. But we all know they all want the German-made shit anyway, and they were not prepared for how big SIG USA has become. SIG USA on paper, literally SIG USA, I think makes more money than any of them. And that's the thing. SIG USA was supposed to be like the little bullshit company, and SIG USA, all of a sudden, guess what? When you start making the most money, you get to drive the fucking boat. And SIG USA basically was like, fuck these goddamn 550s. We're going to fucking make some ARs. Fuck you guys. Fuck these goddamn bullshit German guns. We're going to make a bunch of 1911s. Fuck you guys. And guess what? They did.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. The Sig Sauer is the European company. The U.S. entity is actually SIG Arms.
Yeah, I call them SIG USA. I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's SIG Arms is actually the name, and they, and they are. I mean, look, they're at the end of the day, it all goes back to the same parent corp. But
does.
Yes, SIG Arms is technically separate than Sig Sauer.
Well, SIG Arms is not taking a whole lot of direction from Germany. I mean,
no, but it's still, but SIG Arms at the end of the day is still owned by the Luke and Ortmeyer group.
Yeah.
They own Blaser and Mauser and all the, at the end of the day, they're still owned by the same parent company.
Well, yeah, I mean that no one's disputing that, but the SIG is basically turned into SIG Arms, I guess you want to call it. I think I call it SIG USA, whatever. They they turned into this monster in the domestic, U.S. domestic gun market, which is the largest gun market in the world.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Here's the thing, and here's the point that a lot of Americans don't realize. Change is coming because people are realizing, well, shit, there's opportunities there. There's a rumor I heard H&K is decided they're like, SIG is making way too much goddamn money and we're leaving too much money on the table. And plus there's, again, like all these problems in Germany with military weapons. H&K doesn't make a lot of sporting arms. H&K is military guns. So they can't get anything out of the fucking country. So all of a sudden you've heard, like in the past couple of days, H&K is closing or downsizing their, I think they have a facility in New Hampshire. I don't know where they're U.S. based. And at one point they were in McLean. I can't remember all the stuff.
Yeah,
but they basically decided they're going to go down to Columbia, South Carolina, which is, guess what? I think that's where FN's at. They're going to open a big goddamn factory and put a bunch of money down there. And I would not be surprised if in the next couple years you see, because the VP9s are, I think they're getting those. I don't know. Is the VP9 made in the U.S. or is that imported, Freeze? Because the H&K USA drove the train on the VP9 design. And a lot of people don't understand that. The USA H&K crew basically got HK to make that gun. And guess what? It's been successful. So now with that that mojo on their side, and looking at what SIG USA or SIG Arms has done, and then all the problems now at home, H&K, I wouldn't be surprised H&K really spins up their domestic U.S. presence, and you start seeing G36s made in the USA.
Honestly, that's a smart move. I mean, realistically, that's what they need to do.
That's why I keep holding back from buying like a G36 from like Tommy Built Tactical or Tom Bostic, because he'll take the UMPs or whatever they are, or not the UMPs, whatever those guns are, US, whatever those goddamn H&K thumb hole stock guns are, and he'll convert them into G36s. But you're $3, $4, $5, $6 grand into one of those, and I just keep waiting for H&K to basically get smart and actually really try to do business in the U.S. H&K doesn't try to do that, and I think that's coming. So.
Right. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think it is coming. It's smart money. I mean, it really is. And look, H&K already has, H&K USA. I mean,
well, yeah, they have an existing entity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
and,
why isn't H&K importing G36 pistols into the U.S.? Everybody wants them.
Yeah, but they're not allowed.
No, with pistols they can. They can get pistols in. And you can get rifles if you, yes, you're right. They're not allowed because of Germany, but other, like CZ's bringing in the 80 whatever in pistol form. You see these rifles come in as, quote, pistols, because it's easier to import a pistol than it is one of these rifles without all the 922R parts.
Yeah.
So now, H&K's basically looking at their competitors going, fuck, now we're getting fucked. We can't bring this stuff in. So,
by the way, come on, spit it out. The VP9 is made in Germany, or at least the original ones were. I don't think they've actually started up U.S. production of the VP9, but now that they're doing the VP40, and I believe there's talk of a VP45.
Yeah, there is. They've been planning a 45 for a while.
Yeah, it would not shock me in the least bit if you start seeing some U.S. manufacturing coming out of that.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I'm looking at my VP9 now, and I never really pay attention to it. It's got all the German manufacturer, like all their industrial manufacturer marks on the slide.
Look at
their
like
proof marks.
The serial numbers and all that crazy stuff on the slide. It's got
that's German.
That's all the European. That's all the European markings. The BEs, DEs, all the crazy lettering and stuff. That's all definitely European.
Yeah, and it's got the CIP. It's got proof testing for the barrel, their markings for it.
Yes.
But then you look at the frame underneath the pick rail. It's got the H&K Columbus, Georgia.
Which
maybe I was wrong. Maybe H&K's they're expanding Columbus, Georgia, and maybe it's not South Carolina. I could be dead ass wrong.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. But here's the question.
That's just a plate.
Well,
just a plate.
But here's the question. Are the components made in Germany and the gun assembled here in the U.S. at the U.S. plant?
Well, the receiver is the receiver, so the lower comes into the country as a pistol, or maybe an 80% pistol, and then they're finishing it out. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see if H&K basically decides to finally enter the U.S. market for real.
Because honestly, if you bring component, and the Japanese do this with a lot of their vehicles, a lot of components are made overseas and they're assembled here in the U.S., and that's to avoid a lot of tariffs and a lot of import bullshit laws and rules that they have to deal with. It's easier to bring parts in than a completed product.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, but it would not shock me in the least bit if over the course of the next year or two, we see full-blown H&K products being made here in the U.S. I mean, it just really wouldn't. I mean, it's a smart move.
Yep. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll wrap it up on that positive note because H&K come to the U.S. So.
Oh man, I'd love to see it.
I would too. So, okay. Well, this wraps up episode 51 of the John 1911 podcast. If you want to hear more about what we're doing, go to our blog page. It's john1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. If you like this podcast or you hate this podcast, leave us some feedback on iTunes. I'd like to try to get those numbers up. We know we have a lot of listeners, but, don't be shy. Go ahead and, leave some feedback. I actually read all the feedback, so if you want to call us out on something or say something on feedback, please do. I'll take it, positive or negative. I'll take it under consideration. Special consideration to our audio engineer, Mitch, at A&B Promotions. I think it's A&B. Sometimes I say A&M, or sometimes I say, whatever, but, it's Mitch. So, Mitch loves us. We're fine. So, and just remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun, and everybody have a good day.
See you later.